Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new, my name is LJ and you're watching NoClutch Garage. And welcome back to the channel. It's been quite a journey. Right now we're in September. Pretty excited about some stuff that's coming to the channel, but let's get to today's business. Okay, right now I'm heading out to EuroMpire, and I'm heading out there because there is something really interesting going on in the shop. So I don't know if you guys keep up with B58 news and every new development that comes out, but let's see, we're in mid-September right now. So about a month ago, Pro-Meth released a Manifold prototype, or at least they showed it on their Instagram, and it was basically direct injection meth. And the prototype looked really nice. I actually really liked it. The design was very clean. I thought, well, I would love to try that, for one. And two, I was wondering if that was actually a good design. I was looking at where the jets were pretty much placed on the manifold, and they looked a little low, which they looked fine though, because it looked really nice. But my question was, will the manifold be able to be mounted on to the cylinder head? And I don't know, I guess we'll find out. We'll keep in mind the fact that this is a prototype product, so this actually, from what I know and from what Matt told me, that has never been fitted on a B58. So we're pretty much the first shop. I think there's another shop, but we're pretty much the first shop to try to fit it on a car. And more specifically, this is actually going to be a customer car. If you guys have been watching my channel for a while, you guys probably saw the series that I did with the Pure 800 car. And if you guys didn't see that, you can go ahead and click on the banner up above and you can go watch those videos. But I did a customer car review. But more specifically, he was a viewer and he brought the car up to EuroMpire. So, EuroMpire did their thing, and the viewer wanted me to drive his car and, give him input and stuff. So I did all of that, and the car runs great. It's tuned on a 93 tune, but it always happens that you want more power after you get the power. So he's coming back and he's doing a meth setup. And of course, with the new setup comes new tuning, so that's what they're gonna do. And he wanted direct meth injection because honestly, that is probably the safest form of meth injection. Now, you don't get a lot of atomization from that, but it is directly injected, and there's a lesser chance of error because the aeration is actually even compared to throttle body injection, where maybe meth will not get to cylinder 5 and 6 as well as it will to 1, 2, and 3, or stuff like that. And that's important, especially for our manifolds, because we have an intercooler right smack in the middle of it. So we always want to have proper fueling, and trust me, I learned that the hard way with CPI. So moving forward, I myself will be doing direct injected, or not direct, but direct port injected everything. But anyway, enough talking. Let's get to the shop. Let's look at this car. Let's see what we can do with the kit. And if we can't do anything, the customer still wants direct meth injection. So EuroMpire will have to figure that out. Anyway, guys, let's get to it. Matt knows a lot about meth, so this is actually a perfect thing to capture on this channel. Now, this is going to be the first time I actually deal with meth on the channel. I'm pretty excited because this is something pretty new for this platform, and this kit is completely new for the B58. So we're going to be looking at it. We're going to unbox it, look at it. Matt's gonna go over the actual manifold and how meth works. He's gonna show me a little bit of the work he's already done to the car, because I think he started yesterday. And today I'm gonna show you the installation of this manifold. And in the coming videos, I'll show you what this car puts down on the dyno. Maybe we'll get to drive the car again, this time with meth, and we'll see the results. Anyway, let's get down to business.
see how the jets come all the way through. If they don't come all the way through like that, it can mess up the spray pattern. So that's really good. And it's actually spraying back towards the intercooler, which should help for cooling too.
Probably help atomize stuff too.
Mm-hmm. Remember when we took your intercooler out, how much of a pain in the ass it was?
Mm-hmm.
To get those little shards of metal out of there.
Let's not do that again.
Let's not do that again. So the way this works here is you got the meth or the water mix that goes in here, and then it fills the rail, then it fills all the lines, and it's got a check valve right here in front of each injector, basically. So once they all pressurize equally, 25 psi breaks through these, and then it goes and starts spraying. Another benefit of having the check valve right here is when you're not spraying the meth, instead of the vacuum from the engine pulling the meth out of all these lines and all this rail and this and that, it only pulls out what's left in the jet in this little elbow here, which is minuscule. It's like nothing. Where a lot of the other ones you have where the check valves, or they don't use a check valve, or they use the solenoid as a check valve, you're losing all the meth that's in here when it goes into the vacuum. So the next time you gotta hit it, you gotta wait for it to fill back up again, and then, which is, I mean, you're talking milliseconds, but
it can make a difference.
It can.
Yeah. So do all these jets spray at the same time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And it does that because of the check valve. So it has to, you know, it's water flowing into anything. So it's going to take the path of least resistance. So it's going to go here first, then it's going to get this block here. So it's just going to keep flowing, block, flowing, block.
Until it's all evenly pressurized.
And then once it's got everything pressurized, these take 25 psi to overcome, and then just start spraying them all at the same time. Ready to see the hidden tank?
There you go.
Right there. Got a connector right there if you got to take the tank out. It's been buried off to the side. The controller. And then low meth light. And then mess of wires we're not finished with yet.
Right. So you would hide that all under the plastic stuff?
Yeah, it's all going to get tucked in, cleaned up some, and it'll all, you won't see any of it.
Right. Now, does the fuel line, have you installed the fuel line already?
We haven't done the fuel line yet.
But that would run the same direction, right?
Yeah, but it's going to go under the car.
Oh, under the car?
Yeah, we don't run them in the car.
Alright, so now we're at the motor, taking apart all the wires. What'd you unplug?
Unplugged everything. Being these unplugged, I'll move that out of the way. Charge pipe's almost ready to come off. We gotta take these 3 bolts off the throttle body. Move all the pipes out of the way. Remove all this out of the way. Just tuck it somewhere so nothing gets caught up.
Basically everything on top of the intake manifold.
Yep. Took the coolant line off. It goes from here to here. This has to get transferred over to the new intake.
I don't want to film somebody getting hurt on my videos. They don't want a video you struggling. You need to look pretty for the camera.
No, we didn't struggle. I just dropped the whole thing. Like essentially like doing a motor. I just dropped it.
Talking about Brennan's car.
Huh?
Talking about Brennan's car.
Brennan? Oh, Brennan.
The all-wheel drive. Yeah, we just dropped everything down.
Oh, you did his turbos?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He does most of his stuff himself. I think that's the only thing we did on his car.
Isn't that the guy that had the what was that brand called?
Franken Turbo.
Franken Turbo. That's right. Yeah.
That's fucking legend.
I should do a 320 rebadge.
Yeah.
It's a B58, bro.
I actually got.
Sad though, a B48 will still leave a lot of cars on the road.
Yeah, they're pretty strong.
For a 4-cylinder, yeah. B48 will break a lot of Honda Civic cars, that's for sure.
Damn, deja vu, huh?
Yeah, dude. Definitely. And I know how much of a pain in the ass this is, man. That's why I'm like, that's why I'm not even saying anything. I'm just letting you work, man. It's a 5, yeah. So taking off the charge pipe.
Same exact charge pipe, too.
Yeah. That charge pipe has seen things.
It's seen some things, man, and some stuff.
Yeah, the bolt down here is kind of hard to reach. It's right down here, so Preferably you'd have a ballpoint Allen, ball end Allen, sorry. And that would help you get that bolt out. It's right there. Barely see it.
180, 180, 100.
No, these are more than that.
70. Yeah,
These are like 200, 250, aren't they?
probably, yeah.
You know, 130, 130. I'm trying to guess how much his tools are worth.
I mean, this is probably
when
like
you realize how
$90.
much money you've actually spent, you're like,
No, it's like putting.
I mean,
it's
this
like the
is
money you
probably
put in your
like
car. You just
60,
don't add it up.
60,
yeah,
65.
you never add it up.
That little thing?
Yeah.
Dude, these. These are what, $80 a piece?
Like,
Oh wait, that's not the torch bit
they're like
one.
30. Yeah, this one was like almost $50.
Yeah.
That's a specialty tool right there.
Comes as part of the kit. I'm sure it's less.
What's that little kit? Probably like $200 for that little kit.
You
got
got
a lot of tools.
You got your N54 valve cover bolt remover. So there's 2 10 mils. Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about.
that's probably a $32 socket right there. Little quarter-inch.
You can
Well, I'll
fix
tell you
anything.
what, Harbor Freight. all but this one, that one, and
Hey, I'm gonna have to
20
remove that from the
bucks.
video because they're gonna think you're a shitty mechanic for having Harbor Freight stuff in there.
oh yeah.
I mean, that's not why he's a shitty mechanic.
Fair enough.
He's not a shitty mechanic.
There was a video the other day. It was 2 pickup trucks that backed up to each other, and they put a tarp, right? They put a tarp over it, and they're like, "Yo, you can camp out like this at night." And they're like, "You can even let the trucks run."
To warm you up.
Yeah. For some reason, it's like it'll give you a really long, deep sleep.
I thought you were going to completely different.
So what did we remove there? That bolt that's holding down the manifold?
Yeah, just the bracket bolt here. I gotta put it up in the air and take the belly pans off so we can drain some coolant out. Take the intake off now.
What are we doing right there?
Taking the throttle body wiring off.
Do you think it's necessary to do that?
I think it just gave us a lot more room,
Yeah.
and it was actually really easy.
Yeah.
So
Lets you see a lot better too.
now we can get to those coolant lines like no problem.
You can get to the oil filters too.
Yeah.
It's tucked all the way back there. In case you guys didn't know. You're about 90% there. The biggest thing is those coolant lines at the bottom. So it's those coolant lines that are attached to the manifold. These two right here. That are pretty much the biggest pain in the ass to remove. There you go. Finally.
Jesus. I'm gonna let that drain for a minute and take a break.
That looked like a pain in the ass. Alright, so these coolant hoses are held down by these little clamps. They look like this. Essentially, they go right there and hold the coolant lines in place. And once you release those, this can come off completely. After, of course, you've unbolted the bolts that go directly on the block, and then it comes off, and now we are able to exchange it for the other intake manifold. The one thing that we do have to do is we have to take off this throttle body and just replace it over to the new manifold. Alright, got stuff in the valves.
Yeah, we're gonna have to clean all that out.
So that's right there.
All this? Yeah. That's from this. All this crap. Even though we blew it out with air before,
Yeah.
didn't get everything. I remember hearing rumors that the B58s were going to need intake valve cleaning like the N55s were, but these look fine.
We're good?
Yeah. I think I see we've run into an issue, bro. Hitting the bracket over here.
Instructions not clear. So right now we're having an issue where we try to put in the manifold and these little guys are getting in the way, so we're not exactly sure how we're supposed to put those in. So took up the rail, we're having fitment issues. So tell me what's going on right now.
So the Pro-Meth beta intake didn't fit the way we had hoped it would. So we just spoke to them and they asked us if we could figure out a way that it would fit or would work, and that's kind of where we're at right now. We don't have a solution yet, but we got everything we need to make a solution, so here we go. I think the first thing I'm going to do is clean off this intake so they don't look like shit.
So basically what Matt is talking about is we have this intake manifold that Pro-Meth sent us, and these little guys right here are hitting the top of the head near the valve cover, so it's actually blocking the manifold from sitting properly, and because of that we really can't do anything about it. It sticks out about this much, and to be honest, you have less than that amount right there of space between the head and the intake manifold. So I think Matt's gonna have to figure out a way to make the system work. Now we got to keep in mind that this system, even though it looked really good in theory and in design, it doesn't work. And this is why we're doing this. I know that this is a customer car, and we weren't given, but we were given the manifold to basically try to test fit it and see if it would actually work. If it worked, then it'd been great. But after all, that is a beta product that Pro-Meth sent us. So now that Matt is actually dealing with the installation and we can see what the issues are with it, we can go ahead and try to determine if there is a way of making the stock manifold work with direct port meth. If not, then of course a sandwich plate or just a completely different intake manifold is going to have to be developed for meth injection. At this point, we're basically going to be doing some R&D. It's unfortunate that it didn't fit, but then again, this is a beta product like I already stated, so these things happen, and so we just got to figure it out now. Alright guys, welcome back to the video. It's been a few weeks now since I recorded the first part of this video, but essentially what has happened is decided to go a different route with the design of the direct meth injection, and we found that the Pro-Meth prototype wasn't working with the design of the head and the ports, and it just didn't fit. Matt went ahead and did a different design, essentially retrofitting an N55 kit onto the B58. Seems to be working fine. Right now, I just got here to EuroMpire. We're gonna go to the dyno. He's gonna be tuning the car. I believe David Shoop is tuning the car again, this time with meth. So, you know, we expect to see some pretty good results with the Pure 800 and meth. I've seen some pretty good numbers. Alright guys, so we are inside now and the fans are running pretty hard right now, just trying to get some air on the car. But tuning, it's actually a really boring process. You have to run some logs on the dyno and then send it off your remote tuning and then just wait for them to send you another revision. But right now, I think I saw 460 on the graph there, and I know that this car already made around 540. So I think they're just dialing it back and then working back up just to fix some of the inconsistencies within the tune. It looks like it's working fine. The meth kit is working great, so it's just a matter of getting it dialed in now, and yeah, and then we're gonna send it. All right, so here is a quick view of what's going on under the hood. So obviously we have the Dorch Engineering kit over here fueling the direct injection, and then over here we have this Pro-Meth rail, which has the 6 different nozzles going into the stock manifold, and you have the line right here, the solenoid, and then that feeds off and goes into the tank in the back. Pretty much that's what we're doing right now, and it's not an uncommon thing to do actually, but I know that this hasn't really been done on B58. We'll see how this goes. Alright, so a few passes later, it looks like 519 so far, but we're expecting quite a bit more power out of this. Looks good though. Hey guys, it's LJ, and as you can see, I'm editing the video that you're watching right now. And I wanted to jump in because I totally forgot to make an ending to the video. Looking back on the clips, I realized that I didn't really give you guys a conclusive answer as to what happened to the kit and the final numbers on the car. So to wrap it all up, the kit that was sent to us by Pro-Meth actually ended up not fitting, which is a shame because it's actually a really good looking kit and would have worked perfectly if it would have fit. After talking to the guys at Pro-Meth, they decided to go ahead and scrap the design altogether. So that design will not be coming to B58 at all. Instead, they're going on a totally different route, and you will see that product coming up soon. At the end of the day, the customer still wanted direct port meth injection. So Matt went ahead and drilled directly onto the customer's manifold. The kit devised by EuroMpire actually had really good results, and the final numbers on the car were 626 wheel horsepower and 588 pound-feet of torque, which is really good power. The car still has plenty of room for more power, and actually I believe the goal was to hit 700 on E50 and meth, but unfortunately the dyno broke and we couldn't continue tuning. And before wrapping up this video, I actually want to address a few things. One of them was that in my Pure 800 video, I made the comment that the tune was conservative. According to the numbers, the tune was conservative, and they were reading fairly low for what we knew could come out of these Pure 800 turbos with proper tuning. Another thing was another comment that I made saying that the tune felt a lot stronger on the street than it did on the dyno. And those two comments are actually related because it turns out there was a huge limiter that we were experiencing on the dyno when tuning the car. So what we ended up having to do was put the car on all 4 rollers as if it was all-wheel drive, and only then was that torque limiter lifted. This is important because we were experiencing the same problems when trying to tune with meth, and the numbers just wouldn't go up. Once that happened and the car was put on all 4 rollers, then the torque limits were lifted, and then we could actually make good power out of the car. We think that the reason that the car was limiting torque was because the DSC was detecting that the front wheels were not moving while the rear wheels were, and all of that may have come down to software, but we really don't know why this happened with this car, and it hasn't happened with other cars. But we are glad that we had an all-wheel drive dyno to actually try that, and in turn we got the results that we were looking for and that the owner was looking for and that David's shop knew he could hit. All in all, after the numbers that I have seen now, no, I don't think the tune is conservative at all. I actually think it's very strong, but it is very smooth, and I will show you guys all of that in the next video. But anyway guys, this has been it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you like the content, go ahead and click like, go ahead and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.